Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever in the world you are. Hello, hello, hello. This is HP from HP Chat Track, and I am in the building tonight. Yes, I know it is a Tuesday night, but of course, I had to make an exception for a special lady. Yes, and her name is Rosie Allwood. So we will be in the building tonight, Tuesday night. So, welcome whether you're in Africa, Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Oceanic, North America, South America, wherever in the world you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, I know you guys see me smiling. I'm smiling from ear to ear because I've wanted to talk to this lady for so long. And guess what? She's been hiding me a little bit, and I went to champs this year and I dropped right into her lap. And tonight she is here with me for us to, look at her legacy. Look at her legacy. She has a very, very rich legacy, not just on the track, but also off the track. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. Coming from Portland, Boston Beach, Portland, from the school that overlooks the Caribbean Sea, Titchfield High School, and we're in the building. So welcome, everyone. Welcome. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with Rosie. Don't go anywhere. Please stay right there. We'll be right back.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple: to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica, one people, one legacy.
One people, one legacy. Miss Rosie, how are you? What a smile. Miss Rosie, how are you? Good evening.
I'm fine, HP.
Awesome, awesome. Welcome to HP Chat Track, and everyone who are already here. Already I'm seeing people, whether you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, welcome. Already I'm seeing Regina Montague in the building, formerly of Titchfield High School herself. Miss Vilma Charlton, Olympian Vilma Charlton, is also here already, and she's saying, hello, Rosie. Hope all is well. Looking forward to your story tonight. Monica Lewis, welcome, everyone. Rosie, they are here for your story, and of course, that is the reason why I am here myself. I am among royalty tonight, guys, and forgive me if I'm just going on and on about this lady, but she is one of Jamaica track and field darling, coming from the 70s. Springtech 54 is also in the building saying hi, HP and Rosie. Rosie, already you have them rolling out. A special good night to Portland and Titchfield, if they are in the building. A special good night to the parish of Portland and also Titchfield High School. Olympian Rosie, born in Portland, Boston Beach, raised in Portland.
It's actually Boston.
Boston.
I mean, yeah. The beach is there, but the town is called Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Home
tell
of
us
jerk pork.
I know, and I'm going to ask you about the jerk, the home. That's what I call it, Portland or Boston, the home of Jamaica jerk. But before we even get there, tell me a little bit about your early life growing up in your community in the Nice Portland, nice parish.
Well, at the age of 4, my dad took me to live with his people in Kensington, which is east of Boston. And between 4 and 7, I was there, and I went to Mantonil Primary School, which was about 3 miles from Kensington, and so we had to walk to school. So I used to run instead of walk because I found walking boring. So apparently that is where the track started, the running from there between the age of 4 and 7. And then from that, I went to live in Port Antonio with my mom. And she was working in the canteen at Titchfield. I went to Port Antonio Primary School, and the running bug caught me there because they had sports day. And I was just so excited about sports day because, of course, prior to that, I was already arranging road races in and around the community where I lived, boys against girls. And my thing was for the girls to beat the boys all the time. So we had relay races round and round the street in the evenings.
Girl power.
So then my mom was at the canteen, working at the canteen at Titchfield, and it was her ambition for even one of her children to go to Titchfield. At Port Antonio Primary, I was not even aware of common entrance at the time. All right, apparently I took some kind of exam. I wasn't sure what it was, but my mom said she's going to try and get me into Titchfield. So she asked the secretary at the time of the school to ask Mr. Mortimer Geddes if it was possible to give me a place at Titchfield. That is without passing common entrance. Mr. Geddes was the sports master at Excelsior prior to coming back to Titchfield to be principal of Titchfield. And so he was really into track, because prior to my going to Titchfield, Titchfield won girls' championship in 1963 and 1964.
Correct.
So we were already a track school. So I was just most excited about getting to Titchfield. When I got to Titchfield, I started to seek out the older girls to ask them about this champion thing. So much so that they started calling me champion before I even got on the track team. Because I said, I didn't know it was champs, it was called. So I said, what about this champion thing? So that is how I got to Titchfield. Eventually, Mr. Geddes gave me somewhat of a scholarship to come there.
Wow. So what year did you compete in your first girls' champs? Because you attended Titchfield from 1964 to 1971. Am I correct?
Yes. So 1965, it would be March of 1965 was my the first time that I ran at champs. And that year, I had to do a runoff to make the team because there were other girls on the team that were much better than I was. So I got a spot on the 4x1 team. And when I got to champs, I ran the backstretch, and there was a lot of excitement about the leg that I ran.
Sure.
And that was my entry into champs.
Wow. What an entry. Good night to Trisha. Trisha is here saying, big up Sister Rosie. And of course, we have another Olympian in the building, Dorothy Scott Genius. She's saying, hey, HP, hello, my big sis Rosie. So nice to see you. Finally made it. Indeed. But let us go back to, before you even get to Titchfield High School, how were you discovered as a track and field athlete? How were you discovered in sport? Was it a coach, a family, someone, or you just integrated yourself?
I knew I could run because of those races that I had around the street at night with the kids that were in and around there. So I knew I could run, and I knew that Titchfield was a track power from then, and this is why I wanted to go to Titchfield, to show that I could run.
Wow. Talk about determination. But let us talk about your parish a little bit. Portland is becoming the parish to visit now. The food, the the nice weather, green, everything. Boston is the home of Jamaican jerk. That's what I call it. What was it like for you growing up in your community during that time when jerk was jerk?
Well, I left Portland, as I said. I left Portland, the Boston area early and went to Kensington. And then I left Kensington and went to Port Antonio. But my grandparents were in Boston, so I would visit there and I would buy jerk pork during that time. And the only part of the jerk that I liked was the sausage, because that was the leaner part of jerk.
The good old jerk pork, jerk
Mm-hmm.
chicken. Once you say jerk, guys, it is from Portland. Of course, I used to travel to Portland when they had the jerk festival. I don't know if they still have it now, but Portland was a place to be when they had the jerk festival. I mean, bumper to bumper traffic coming out of Kingston and everywhere else. But going
I
back to
believe they're having it in Port Antonio now out at Folly. I think
yes,
so. Because Boston became too small for that.
yeah. Yeah, they're now having it at this property where you park at the flat and then you walk up a little slope like where they
Yes,
have all
yes,
the
that's Folly. Yeah.
yeah. That's the place to be, guys. Portland. This lady's from Port Antonio, Portland. High school champs. How were you able to? You made your first entry into this champs thing that you did not know much about. 1965. Um, who were some of the people that you remember competing with during that time, whether they were from another school or, from in your class in terms of class one, class two, class three? Can you remember any of those names?
There were the surgeons from Manning's.
Mannings.
Yeah, Claudette surgeon. They were very good hurdlers and sprinters. And as a matter of fact, my first year winning the 100, Claudette surgeon, she won the 150 because of a mishap with not hearing when the gun went off. I had the fastest time going into the finals, but I didn't hear the commands, and so I was left in the blocks.
Oh,
So
wow.
she won the 150, and that was
Wow.
my first year in class 3.
Wow, guys. Spring Tech 54 is saying, hi, HP, it's Debbie. Is that Debbie Byfield? Are we talking about Debbie Byfield there? One Track Hero is saying, in 2024, I was told that Champs 2024 Class 1 200 bronze medalist Shivani Grant was the first sprint finalist at Champs ever. Good to know about Rosie's legacy. Indeed, indeed, from the school overlooking the Caribbean Sea, as they would say. But Rosie, you said that your mom was working at Titchfield when you were there. You were also an athlete. Was your mother a strict person? How were you able to balance your academics along with sports? How strict was your mother in ensuring that you got the both of them together?
Well, my mother didn't stay there long. She emigrated to the US after a while, but I had who I would call my first coach, who was the vice principal at Titchfield at the time, Jean David. She was an expatriate from England who came to Titchfield. She taught French, and she also was part of the track team. She kind of coached the track team somewhat. So she took me under her wings. And because when I got to Titchfield in first form, I was just most interested in running. I had no interest in doing any schoolwork, and of course I was at the bottom of the pile in terms of my academic performance. And she took me under her wings and had me do my homework on the school veranda each evening before I went out to train. And she instilled in me that I was intelligent enough to be able to pursue my schoolwork, and that all I had to do was to settle down and do it. And so I moved from the bottom of the pile to not necessarily the top of the pile, but probably in the first 10 or so.
Wow, that's awesome. That is beautiful. Someone seeing your that you have the potential and was able to invest their time in you. And of course, guys, as we get into the interview, when I tell you about her academics achievements, you're going to go like, wow. But back to champs a little bit. 1963, 1964, Titchfield won. Titchfield is one of two schools from Eastern Jamaica to have won girls champs. St. Mary High is the other school, with the likes of Jackie Pusey and Lelieth Hodges from that alma mater. But what do you remember? You were at Titchfield 1964 when the school won girls champs. Can
No, I
you
actually went there after. I went there in September of 64.
Oh, so it was
So
after champs.
65 was my first experience with champs.
Okay,
They had already won in 63 and 64.
so what was the energy like when you go into the school and you wanted to meet the champs team? Did they tell you anything about the history of the school that would have helped to influence you wanting to be a part of that?
No, not really. I just knew that they had won champs. I mean, around the town, Portlandton is a small town. So, I mean, of course, those of us at the primary school level, we heard that Titchfield won champs. And so when I got there, I spoke to the older girls on the team to ask them, what about this champs thing? And of course, I told you that they ended up calling me champion because of my interest in it.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And of course, from Titchfield to university abroad. Before you started university, did you have plans to go further in your education, as in to get a scholarship to further your education and also to continue with your training? Was Jamaica on your mind when you were pursuing your track career at Titchfield High School?
So I won champs in the 100 and the 200 and the 4x1 relay. We won in 1971, and that was the last year for me at champs. And at that time, I said to myself that I probably would go to England and do nursing because my dad lived in England. I think Montego, they had just built the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, and I said that I go and study nursing in England and then come back to Jamaica and work at Cornwall Regional Hospital. But I went to a couple development meets after champs, and I met Foggy Burrows.
Woohoo!
And he was the one who convinced me that I could be an Olympian. So why not stay and train to be an Olympian? And so that is why I decided to pursue track instead of the academics at that time.
Wow, Foggy Burrows. And of course, we are going to talk about him in a little bit. Student athletes, sometimes, especially now, it's easy to access scholarships to go overseas and, earn a degree or something. But what was it like for you when you moved on to the University of Florida?
Well, before I even got to the University of Florida, I went to the Pan Am Games. From there, I met Brooks Johnson, an American coach, and he was looking for talent to form a track club in Washington, D.C. So he approached me and asked me, because I made the finals at the Pan Am Games in the 100 and the 200, and he asked me if I would be interested in joining his team in Washington, and I said, sure. So that is how I got to DC via a somewhat of a track scholarship to the track club, though, because it was difficult to get scholarships then for women. Scholarships were not being offered at the university level for women.
Why is that, though? Do you know?
Or Tennessee State University, the Tiger Bells were the only ones that coach Ed Temple. But you had to be really, really good to get on that team. Actually, one of our Olympians, Cynthia Thompson, Dr. Cynthia Thompson, went to that university in the 40s. In the 40s.
So you're saying it was harder back then in the 70s, it was harder for women to get a track scholarship to go overseas. Wow, things have really changed now though. But from Titchfield High School, of course, to the University of Florida, the Gators, as they say. Let us talk about you now moving into a higher level of education. Sport is demanding, academics is demanded. What was it like for you at that level?
Well, the discipline learned from having been an athlete came in very handy in terms of studying. And to me, the most important attribute that one can have in life is discipline. Because if you have discipline, you can just achieve just about anything. And when I went to Washington to join that track club, Sports International, I had to train on Christmas Day, just any day. I had to train, right? And so the discipline started from there. And so I knew that I could do anything, anytime, anything that I set my mind to, it was possible to achieve.
Wow, train on Christmas Day, but
Yeah.
Christmas Day is when you're home with family eating cake and sorrel and rice and peas and all those things. Wow, how different it was then.
Yeah.
Entering the room right now is Merlene Green, formerly of Dintil, is saying good evening. And another Olympian, 1988 Olympian, Ethelyn Tate, is also in the building. Of course, she's saying good evening, HP, Rosie, and everyone else on the live.
Good evening,
Shout out
everyone.
to all Olympian Ethelyn Tate. Do you know that lady? You know that name?
Yes,
No.
I met her. I met her through Dorothy.
Oh, you met
Yeah.
her. Okay, one of the babies,
Yes.
the 1980s. But tell me a little bit more about the fact that you had to give up your holiday to train. Back then, the sport was an amateur sport. What kept you coming back to training? You guys weren't earning any money, but why would you give up your holiday to
Well,
train
the
in the snow?
motivation was academics, right? When I got to BC, I wasn't able to get into a four-year college immediately, so I got into a junior college. And I used to have to get up at 5 o'clock to catch a bus to go out to Montgomery Junior College to go to school. And from that junior college, I transferred to District of Columbia Teachers College, which is now University of Washington, D.C. And from there, running with Brooks's team, Sports International, he got an offer to go and coach at the University of Florida. And that offer included him taking some of the athletes that he had on the Sports International team. And so that is how I got there. But prior to that, I decided to break away somewhat from Brooks, in that he was we were going to track meets, and I suppose he got money from that, and that is what he was using to keep us. I decided that I wanted help from the Jamaican government. So I went to the Ministry of Youth and Sports and asked them if it was possible to sponsor me. Mr. Seymour Mullins at the time was the minister, and he found some money that was allocated to Lawrence Rowe. They had given the cricketer Lawrence Rowe this money to go to England and study, and he didn't use the money. He didn't go and study. So I got that money from the Jamaican government, and that is the money that I used to go to the University of Florida those last 2 years, because I wanted some kind of independence from Brooks. So I'm one of the athletes that can say that I got help from the Jamaican government.
Wow, I love to hear that. This is something you don't hear every day. This is something you don't hear every day. And I would love for more of this to be happening for our athletes. But in college, you would have competed against some of the best, including the American Evelyn Ashford. Share some of those memories with us, especially competing against Evelyn, Little Miss Dynamo.
Well, Evelyn and I, well, in 1972, we're moving from 71 now to 72. Myself and another girl from Ghana, Alice Anno, we were the top sprinters in the US. As a matter of fact, when we started running, going to all the meets indoors and outdoors and winning, the AAU wanted to find, they contacted Brooks to find out whether we were Americans. And Brooks said, no, they're not Americans. They're from, one is from Jamaica and one is from Ghana. So Evelyn came later in my career.
Mm-hmm.
But earlier in the career, we were the top sprinters in the US in 72, which is why by the time we got to the Olympics, Alice was 7th in the 200 and I was 8th. And we were the only two women from this part of the world that made it to the Olympic finals in the 200.
Wow, what a story. And you made your, which we're going to talk about shortly, you made your first Olympic team still as a baby. I would still say 19, 18, 19, a baby 1972. But before we even get there, 1976, you competed in the Collegiate Women Championship and you won a bronze medal. You won a bronze medal in that event behind Rosalie Bryant and, of course, Evelyn again. How did that help to, to shape your career going forward? Because here you are competing with these women in college and you're competing with them also at the highest level.
Well, I didn't really pay that college competition much attention because I was running for, I'd run for Jamaica before, made an Olympic finals in 72, so I was more interested in competing for Jamaica. I wasn't that interested in competing for the college. And remember, I was not really on a scholarship with any of these, with University of Florida. I paid my own way there with the money that I got from the Jamaican government.
Wow.
So even though I ran for them because Brooks was there and that was the agreement, I was not really into running for them. I was more interested in running for Jamaica.
So even though you were paying your way and you were doing so well for the university, you weren't offered a scholarship
No.
to continue?
No.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I think that is really, I don't think it is fair actually. When I look back on being at the University of Florida, I don't believe that was a fair situation. But that's okay. That's part of my journey. So
yes. And you also you created history for them because you and Jackie Gordon, who is a discus athlete, were the first All-Americans in the Gator program in the history during the 1976 outdoor season. So that did not even...
It didn't faze me.
No, but not even to faze you, but to them, to the athletic department, to say she's creating history for us. So let us help her with her tuition.
Oh no, because they were not really interested in offering scholarships to women, really.
Wow.
Not then. A couple of people got scholarships, but it was most of the men that they were giving scholarships to.
Women have to work double, triple, triple harder than men, even when we're doing the work. Let us say goodnight to Monica Lewis. Monica Lewis is saying, hi, Rosie. This is Fluffy. We were sitting together at Penn Relays this year.
Yes.
Listen, this lady, people, let me tell you, this lady, she is very much out and about still supporting the sport. So she was at Penn. And as I said earlier in my introduction, I met her face to face at Boys and Girls Champs. What a thing. So she said Richard introduced us. I didn't know I was sitting next to a living legend. I love that. Thank you very much for that, Monica. Indeed, our Jamaican Olympians, our athletes, they are indeed ambassador for us. And later on, I'm going to share a quote from Foggy Burrows, what he said about our Olympians who have made the final, what we should call them. Albert Lawrence, formerly of Veer Technical and Jamaican Olympian silver medalist 1984 at the 1984 Games. He said, good evening, HP and Rosie. After 45 years, I get to see my big sister. Man, this is giving me chills. This is giving me chills. Albert Lawrence is saying, after 45 years, I get to see my big sister. I will never forget 1980 Olympic team. That is just, oh, that's giving me teary eyes. But coming back to the lady of the moment, what did you know about the Olympic Games before you made your first Olympic Games in 1972 at the age of 19? Okay, guys, okay, she's back with us. That was
Did
close.
I lose you?
Yes, you did, but I'm hearing you now. Are you hearing me okay? Are you hearing me, Rosie? All right, so like she's having some technical problems. You know how this thing goes, guys. We're over the internet. But guys, if you're just joining, with me tonight is Rosie Allwood, formerly of Titchfield High School, Portland in Jamaica. Are you hearing me, Rosie? Rosie, are you hearing me? Check, check, check. It seems as if she's having some technical difficulties. Yes, she is having some technical difficulties, guys. Let us bear with her. It is a part of the it is a part of the it is a part of the yeah, that's how it is. These things do happen. But as I said before, welcome if you're just joining wherever you're joining us from, whether you're in Africa, Asia, Antarctica, Oceanic, North America, South America, Europe. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Welcome, welcome. And I want to say a special welcome also to all my new subscribers. I see you guys. I see you. Welcome, welcome. Miss Rosie, you are back. Can you hear me? Hello, Miss Rosie, can you hear me? All right, guys, she is not hearing me. So I think I'm going to drop her so she can re-add herself. Hopefully. Oh, here she is. She rejoined us. All right, here we go. You rejoin us. Thank you for that. Thank you. Technical difficulties, I know and I understand. Okay, you want to bring okay,
Okay.
you want to set your camera that we can see you a little bit more of you.
Is this
All right.
okay?
Yeah, just a little bit more. You can bring it up or down a little bit more so we can see a little bit more of your face and your upper torso. Awesome. That's fine. Yes.
Okay.
As I was saying just now, what did you know about the Olympic Games before you made your first team, 1972? 1972, you were only 19, 18 going 19. What did you know about these games before you
Nothing.
actually? Wow, nothing.
Nothing. It was not until Foggy Boris told me. Foggy was the one who told me about the possibility of being an Olympian. He said, Rosie, you have the talent to make an Olympics team, so why not stay around and try and make the Olympics team? And of course, the first team I made was the Pan Am Games team. And then after that, I went to the US to join Brooks's team, and then I went to the Olympics after that.
When it was first declared that you made the Olympic team, your first Olympic team, take us back through that excitement. What was it like for you and your family, your friends? Relive those exciting moments for us.
It was exciting, but I still do not understand the magnitude of what I was about to do. I had no idea how awesome making an Olympics team was at that age. I didn't really understand that until probably my third Olympics.
Wow, which was
80.
1980. But
1980.
what was it like back then? This was like in the 70s, early 70s. Here you are in Germany, turn up in Germany in the 1970s. What was it like back then?
To me, it was just another track meet, but I remember when I was going out on the track, I was in total daze. I was in a total daze. I tried to look up in the stands to look at the people, and all I saw was blurred. It was just blurred.
Nerves.
Yes, yes. Very nerve wracking. And as far as I was concerned, get this race over with.
How
That
were
is how
you?
I felt.
How were you able to calm yourself down and do what you have to do, ensure that you're feeling your legs? Because I remember one Olympian told me that at their first Olympic Games, once they entered the arena, they stopped hearing. It's like they weren't hearing anything else. They just blocked out. They were physically moving, but
Hmm.
because of the nerves, it's like they stopped hearing. How were you able to calm yourself down and
Well,
get the job done?
I had the additional pressure of Brooks Johnson, my club coach, being over there in Munich, coaching me, and he would have me run an all-out race before the real race.
How did that
So
help you?
it didn't. It didn't. Because how can you run an all-out race before you're going to run the real race? And every time, those days, I mean, I had to run 4 rounds or 3 rounds to get to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And in the warm-up area, he would have me run an all-out race. That was his way of coaching. That's what he knew. So by the
Wow.
time I got him to run the real race in the Olympics, I would have been tired.
Oh,
Nowadays,
wow.
people taking their time and running slower and building up to the finals. That was not how it was done for him. You have to show him that you're ready to run fast on the warm-up track.
What was Rosie like as a team member? What was Rosie like as an athlete? Temperament, that kind of thing.
Mm.
Extrovert, introvert.
Somewhat of an extrovert, someone that would I'm quite capable of speaking my mind and telling people exactly what I mean. But you'll have to hear that from others.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from you. Tell me.
I was kind of no nonsense and was always about getting the job done. I was a team player. It was always about what is best for the team, especially when it came to relay running. And there were times when I got into difficulty with some people because of that. But that's just who I was.
But it was all for the good of the team, right? Team
Oh
and
yes.
country. Team
Oh
and
yes.
country.
Oh yes. It's all for that purpose.
Wow. And so tell me a little bit now about your second, by the time you get to your second Olympic Games, which was 1976, what was it like for you? How easy was it for you?
That me I was actually disappointed with that meet because with that Olympics rather because by then I was at the University of Florida with Brooks working with Brooks and he changed. There was a runner from the US, a sprinter, Steve Williams. He ran the 1 and the 2, and he was supposed to go on to the Olympics and win 4 gold medals. And the focus of Brooks' attention was mostly on him. And he decided to change my high knees running form to that of Steve Williams. Steve Williams was like 6'2" or 6'3", and he had knock knees. And when he ran, his legs came up behind him. Brooks had me change my running form to that of Steve Williams. And so it was somewhat of a setback. When I got to Jamaica for the trials for our championship, which was the Olympic trials as well, I did not do well. I think I probably won the 100, but I lost the 200. I think Ruth Williams Simpson might have beaten me in that 200, and just because of my running style. But anyway, I went out to California and was coached by Leo Davis, who was a technical coach, and he brought me back to my old running form. But I remember when I was going to the Olympics, he said, Rosie, if I only had 3 more weeks with you, you would do much better, but that's all I can do. But go ahead and do what you can do. And so I went to that Olympics and made the semifinals of the 100. Actually, it was Evelyn Ashford. It might have been her first Olympics that beat me in the semis. She was fourth and I was fifth, and they were taking four to the finals.
And that was 1976 in
That was
Montreal.
76 in Montreal.
Wow, wow, wow. Dorothy Scott is saying, oh, yeah, she was very outspoken, but a wonderful teammate. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing. What, they're being nice to you tonight, Rosie?
Yes.
Oh my God. Guys, let us look at some of Rosie's achievements before we get into my other questions. She is a graduate of the University of Florida, the Gators. She is also a graduate of Ohio University with a master's degree in social works. Man. She's also a graduate of Eastern University of Pennsylvania, where she earned a bachelor's of science in nursing. But Miss Rosie, you're a bright girl, man. A bright people do the sciences, you know. Bright
I
people.
don't know about that. It's a discipline from track.
Wow. Look
Track and
at
field is what did all of that.
look
Discipline
at
from track.
mhm.
You put your mind to what you need to do and you do it. And of
Look.
course, just the blessings from God.
Indeed. She's also a 1972, 1976, 1980 Olympian, three-time Olympian. 1976 Collegiate bronze medal in the 100 meters, 1979 Pan Am Games silver medal in the 4x100 meters with Lelieth Hodges, Merlene Ottey, and Carmetta Drummond. Do you remember that name?
Oh, sure, Carmetta. Carmetta Drummond,
Carmita.
yeah. Yes.
Carmita.
Yes.
1971 Pan Am Games, you competed for Jamaica also. 1972, 1976, you were among an elite group of Jamaican women who ran at both relays at the Olympic Games. It's just a few women that we've had that ran both relays at the same Olympic Games. You're in company with Grace Jackson, Merlene Ottey, Jackie Pusey, and Sherika Jackson are the other names that ran in both relays at the same Olympic Games, and you did it twice. You did it 1972 and 1976. Also, you competed for Jamaica at the 1974 Commonwealth Games. You have a personal best of 11.32 in the 100, 23.11 in the 200, and 54.2 in the 400 meters. So you were doing the sprints right out from the 100 meters to the 400 meters. All these degrees, you must have been a disciplined student athlete. Tell me a little bit about your strategy.
Well, as I said, the fact that you could train on Christmas Day, that means that you can also get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and study. And that is what I did. I just used the discipline from track and applied it to my academics.
You are a three-time Olympian. You did it in an era when there was no money, there was no real perks. It wasn't a professional sport. What was your biggest motivation coming back each time for country? Because as I said before, there was no money in it. What was your biggest motivation in coming back each time for country?
Love of the sport. You have to love it to be able to do it for so long. All right, because I mean, I did it for 9 years, 1971 to 1980. I loved running. I loved to compete. I loved the thrill of victory and even the agony of defeat. And so that is what kept me doing it.
You have met many Jamaican greats in the sports, pioneers and legends and stuff that would have that have impacted many Jamaican athletes. I want you to share a little bit about two of them, Herb McKinley and Foggy Burrows. But I want you to talk about Mr. McKinley first. Herb McKinley is regarded as one of Jamaica's greatest pioneers in track and field. He and Mr. Dr. Arthur Wint. How did his legacy influence you as an athlete, as a young athlete coming up?
Well, Herb was the coach on most of the teams that I went on. And he had this indomitable spirit of positivity. There's nothing that you can't do as far as Herb is concerned. I'll tell you a story. At the 76 Olympics, we didn't have a 4x4 team. And Herb said Jamaica must enter the 4x4 women. So he entered all four of us from the 4x1 team to run the 4x4. It turned out that both relays were like back to back, and we weren't able to do it. So we had to pick the start in the 4x4. And of course, a lot of people were very upset about it afterwards. It was Carl Cummings who actually took the lead to jump the start in order for us to get to run the 4x1. That was Herb. Herb wanted us to make sure Jamaica is entered in a 4x4.
Because that's his baby.
Yes, yes, that is Herb.
Amazing.
In the beginning, I was not really a Herb person per se because of the stories that I heard about him. But over time, I grew to admire and respect the man.
His body of work.
He gave so much to track and field. He gave so much to his school, Calabar. And when I heard about all of that, I just was in awe of him after that.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Herb McKinley. Karine Bell is in the building and she's saying, repping one Titch as in Titchfield. Of course, Karine is one of my BFF and one of the best English teacher in the Western Hemisphere at Titchfield High School. Karine, welcome, welcome. Let us talk about this man that I've heard a lot about, Mr. Foggy Barrows. I've heard about him from you, from Ruth, from Dorothy, from Miss Vilma, everybody, Lelieth. I want you to share some memories of this man, Foggy Barrows, how he impacted your life, your career as a youngster, a student athlete, the whole work. Tell me a little bit about Mr. Foggy Barrows.
So when I met Foggy a little after Champs, or it might have been at Champs that I met him, he told me that I could become an Olympian. Of course, I had to go back to Port Antonio and live, because that's where I lived. But Foggy would invite me to whatever development meet they were having in Kingston or wherever they were having it in Jamaica. And I would take the train or the bus in. The diesel used to run then. We had railway at that time. And he would pick me up at the railway station or the bus station and take me to whatever meet there was. And then after I left and after the Pan Am Games and I left and came up to DC to run with Sports International, and I had to, well, prior to that, he also, he got me, I didn't know anyone in Kingston, so I lived at his house, sleeping on a small bed with his daughter who never complained. And he got me a job at West Indies Paper Products to help with my, so I had some kind of pocket money. And during that time, he would go around and collect food items for the athletes that he was overseeing. He was not really a coach per se then. It's later that he became a coach. But of course, he was involved with whatever was happening at KC. And when he became a coach at JC, and I came back to Jamaica, he also convinced me that I could become make it to the third Olympics. And that is when he coached me for a short time.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I've heard so many good stories about this man, his impact, the legacy, that he left behind, the work that his contribution to our legacy. But he had some theories, and one of them, this is the one I like the best, and this is in his words. He said, Jamaicans should regard any Olympic finalist as a hero. The title Olympian is a big deal. What does it mean to you to be an Olympian, Miss Rosie?
Well, for me back then, I did not really look on it as a big deal. As a matter of fact, Although I placed eighth and ran a new Jamaica record at the time, the announcer on JBC, Lily Delapeno, said I was dead last in the Olympics. That's the way it was seen. And so I didn't really think I did anything phenomenal. It was not until I was watching an Olympics. It must have been the 1996 Olympics, and we were hoping that some of our athletes would even make a finals. That I said, wow, I mean, making a finals is really a big deal.
It is. It is. It is a big deal, and and this is why I like to break down athletes legacy. And I will tell anybody, it is not just about the medals that you've won. It is a lot more. It is the hard work that you put in, the dedication, the hurdles that you had to overcome in order to get to that place. Number 8 in the world is a big deal when you have over 190 countries vying for 8 places in a final.
And
And
when you also have to run 4 rounds to
4
get to a
rounds.
finals. But the other thing I want to tell you about Fogg is that what is happening now with Jamaican athletics, Fogg predicted that long ago. As a
Tell me
matter
about
of
that.
fact, he tried to get the Jamaican government during Michael Manley's time to put more resources into developing athletics. But they didn't take him on then. That is what he knew, that there was so much talent in Jamaica that that could really become a big deal. And I'm just sorry that he didn't live long enough to see how well we have become, because he predicted it.
Wow, indeed, indeed. He was very involved in sport himself, in sports and the development of youths. I mean, when he was a youngster, he played cricket while at Kingston College. He was on the football team. He was a teacher at Kingston College after he graduated. He was a sports master there also. He was a publisher of the Sport Life magazine. I don't know how many people know that magazine. To be honest, I don't know it. He was a motivational speaker. He was a mentor. He was a giver. Do you feel that we have done enough to highlight and honor people, pioneers like Foggy Burrows for his contribution?
No, not really, but he touched so many lives
Mm-hmm.
that all the lives that he touched, those people really revere him. I mean, they really hold him in very high places. That's what I can tell you about that. When you meet upon someone that went to KC during that period, because not only did he influence people in track and field, he influenced people in swimming, just any
Mm-hmm.
sport.
Yeah.
He was able to influence people.
Wow, wow. Going back to the 1972 games, that was one of the darkest tragedies in the Olympic history. You were there in Germany. Um, Share your experience of how you felt when you learned that the Olympic Village was under attack. Do you
It was
remember?
actually it was actually quite frightening. We were frightened. We didn't know what was going on, and then we heard that the Palestinians had abducted some of the Israeli athletes. And all I can remember is that they shut down this village for a day, and I came back and ran the finals of the 100 the day after that. Right?
Wow.
But being in the village, we didn't know exactly what was happening. So most of what I learned about it was afterwards. It wasn't then and there that I knew what was happening. I mean, apart from the fact that we knew that abduction took place and that
Mm-hmm.
there was some kind of shootout.
So some of the camps weren't affected. Jamaica wasn't really affected, and neighboring camps. But Debbie Byfield is saying Foggy Burrows looked beyond Kingston for talent. So he was all over the country
Yes, he
scouting
did.
and nurturing talent. What what a man he was, and we salute him for his contribution. But Miss Rosie, I want to touch on something that I have observed, and I want to know how you guys, how you do it. I observe the friendships, the family ships that you guys have created. People like you, Dorothy Scott Genius, Etlin, Debbie Byfield. Did I say Grace Jackson, Lelieth Hodges, Kathy Rattray, Ruth Williams, Donald Quarry? All of you guys, Yvonne Saunders, seem to Albert Lawrence, and so many other names tend to stay connected. And even if you're not connected every day, when you reconnect, it's like you never disconnected in any way. How were you guys able to do that, to build these lasting friendships?
Well, the track family is really a community. And I believe that during that year, the fact that we weren't running for money, when money gets involved in stuff, things happen. And I believe we weren't running for money. We were just running for country and for the love of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is why we are able to still be a part of that loving track community up until today.
Wow. How much of this would you credit Champs for? Did this all started at Champs, or it was when you guys became seniors?
You mean the friendships?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes. Yes, some of it, although I don't remember, there weren't anybody from Champs during my time that went on to make the Olympic team. Because remember, back then it was just girls' championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only person that I remember that did that was Carol Cummins and Debbie.
Debbie Byfield.
Yeah, Debbie went on from Champs during my time, but I don't remember anybody else that did that.
Okay. Your thoughts on where Jamaica is now, where our track and field is? We've done some remarkable things from your time leading into the 80s, into the 90s. Merlene Ottey came on the scene. She became the first Jamaican woman to win a medal at the Olympic Games. You have competed with Merlene. Merlene has been to 7 Olympic Games. That's a record.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what you can say about her body of work.
Phenomenal. I mean, when you read what Merlene did during that time, I mean, she ran so many hundreds under 11 seconds that you just have to just shake your head and just say, wow, what a beautiful body of work she left behind. She was a phenomenal athlete.
Indeed. She did retire from the sport, and of course, she left a legacy. To me, it's unmatched. 7 Olympic Games is a lot.
Yep.
She competed at the Olympic Games from 1980 to 2004, and she has been to every Olympic Games from 1980. I'm not making this up.
Merlene was blessed because the other thing with her is that she didn't have many injuries.
Yes.
The way how her body is built, she was able to run without many injuries. And so that is why her career was so long and successful. And she was a very focused athlete.
Yeah, indeed.
She was not even interested in running relays back then. Her main thing was her event. That's how focused she was.
Wow. Indeed, a Jamaican. I'm happy that she is a Jamaican. But when you look back at where your career finished and where you started at Girls Champs, was it worth it? How much was it worth it?
Absolutely worth it. And I would not have had the career that I had if it wasn't for Girls Champs. So that is our foundation. It still is the foundation where most of the athletes are recognized and discovered, rather. Right? That is our building block. And probably one of the reasons why I am known in the track community in Jamaica is because I was winning at girls' champs. I started winning from I was in class 3 all the way up to class 1. So I was,
Indeed.
I suppose, seen as a homegrown talent during that time. It's just a pity that I didn't have a local coach like these athletes have today to keep me at home instead of sending me overseas, me having to go overseas to compete. But that was then and this is now. That's just how it was.
Yeah, you're right, because now we have all these track clubs at home where athletes can stay home. They can even go to college, come back home,
Yes.
to train. We have so many track clubs there now. And that's the next question I was going to ask you. The fact that we're now able to coach our athletes back home, because when you look at our medalists now, the athletes who are now winning medals at the global level, they 90% of them or more, they are coached at home, whether at the MVP track club, the racers track club, elite, dynamics, wherever they are, sprint tech, all of them, they are now being coached at home. Your thoughts on that? One from Usain Bolt come all the way up.
Well, staying at home, they don't have to go on the grueling circuit of the collegiate athletes in the US. Because once you start to run for a university in the US, it's really about their athletic program, right? About they are interested in winning the meets that they go to. And if you're on their team, you just have to go along with that. And that helps to burn out the athletes as far as I'm concerned and create a lot of injuries too. So that, even though people want an education, etc., if you can stay home and get that same education right there at UTech or the University of the West Indies, that is better for the athlete.
And that's something that I've been lobbying for. I've been saying it that I think our universities in Jamaica need to be offering more scholarships to student athletes instead of them have to go overseas. Try and offer more scholarships to stay at home and, as you said, less work on the body. Let's work on the body. But your thoughts on the Jamaican team in Tokyo just recently? I'm sure you were following. You are traveling to track and field championships all over the world. Your thoughts on Team Jamaica performance in Tokyo recently?
Just awesome. I am telling you, I watched the meet. As a matter of fact, I took time off from work so I could wake up early and watch every single race. Um, they did. I'm very happy that we are back on the market in terms of track. We are doing much better than we did at the last Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not easy. It really isn't easy, and the Jamaican public really need to understand that even making a finals in an event is an awesome achievement.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But let me ask you, when you saw the 100, the sprints, those are your events, the 100 and the 200. What were your thoughts about the 100 meters, especially the fact that Shelly Ann Fraser Price at age 38, 39 made not just made the Jamaican team, she made the Jamaican team as an individualist, and she also made the final of that race in Tokyo. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
Shelly-Ann is the she's blessed. She's phenomenal. Athletes like Shelly-Ann and Bolt and Merlene Ottey, those athletes don't come by every day. All right. As I remember, I left the sport at the age of 28, and I remember then people were saying that I was old then. And to see Shelly-Ann left at 38 and was still able to make a finals and place 6 and get a silver medal in the 4x1, she's just a phenomenal human being.
Amazing, 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 amazing. And the thing is, it I think to some people it may look simple, but it's not. It is really a big deal to see that 38 and you made that final. It's just amazing. I don't know how anybody else sees it. It's just amazing. But let us talk about some of the challenges now. In everything, there are challenges. What are some of the challenges that you would have encountered in your throughout your life, in your career, from you were at high school, then college, and become an Olympian and pro and all of that? What are some of the challenges and how were you able to just get over them?
Well, you really have to become very focused, and you have to be willing to bounce back. Whenever you have difficulties, you make your mind up that you're going to overcome it and go back to what you know, and you become more successful as a result of that. The
Indeed.
focus, you just have to have that focus as to what you want to achieve and where you want to go. And my main focus was education first. I wanted to use athletics to get an education to get away from poverty.
Like a lot, like many of our athletes. Lelieth Hodges is saying, "Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Rosie. Finally, we gotcha."
Hi,
I
Lily.
I have to love my Olympians. I swear, these Olympians, guys, you don't understand how I feel about my athletes. Anyway, moving right along. The Jamaica track and field legacy is getting richer and richer every day. You know, Auntie Rosie, as I call you, how proud are you that you have contributed to this legacy?
As I said initially, I didn't really think it was a big deal to make an Olympic finals, but then I soon realized that it was. And I was actually the third Olympic sprint finalist, the first one being Dr. Cynthia Thompson, the second one, Dr. Una Morris, and then I was the third Olympic sprint finalist. And to me, that is part of the legacy.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree with you on that. And I love how you said it. You break it down and then you said that's a part of the legacy. Indeed. The pioneers, guys, if you're just joining us, I'm here with one of our many darlings of track and field, Rosie Allwood, formerly of Titchfield High School, the school overlooking the Caribbean Sea. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing me say that, but I have to say that. But Miss Rosie, when you look back at your legacy, name me one thing that you're most proud of? Just one. I know you have many, but just give me one.
You mean in terms of track itself?
Any track and otherwise. If you want to give me otherwise, that's fine.
Ah, well, I am proud of the fact that I was able to. I left the sport after 1976. I took 2 years off because of Brooks, problems that I had with Brooks with him changing my running style and all of that. So I just stopped running and just concentrated on finishing school. And then I went back to Jamaica, and then Foggy said, "Why don't you try to make another Olympic team?" And I made up my mind that when I went to the trials, I was going to win the 100. And I won the 100 that year in a slow time. Merlene had emerged as our top sprinter then, and Jackie also. And I beat both of them in that final. That's how determined I
What?
was to make the team, yes.
Wow.
That was at our Olympic trials.
Wow. Awesome. Defeating Jackie Pusey and Merlene Ottey. Anybody can defeat Jackie and Pusey back in that time. Yeah. Have some. Yep. Big.
Jackie actually broke my then Jamaica record in the 200, and she did it at the age of 15. She ran 23 flat somewhere over in Europe. As Mr. Boris took a team to Europe, and Jackie ran 23 flat then.
Jackie, indeed. Jackie Pusey, if you're watching, good night to you. Good night to you. But let me ask you, you've mentioned a few times that you were having problems with your coach. How would you advise an athlete who might be having similar problems with their coach because of changing techniques or the fit is not working, how would you advise an athlete now to move on? At what point did you decide that you were going to move on from this coach because it's not working, the dynamics not working?
Well, it wasn't until I got help from the Jamaican government that I became more independent from him. I didn't have to rely on him for room and board anymore. And then I stopped running. That's why I said I stopped running for those 2 years at the University of Florida. Well, I just ran for them like one semester, and then I stopped after that. But it's different nowadays because you have so many universities you can go to, you can switch coaches, but back then that was not the case. It wasn't that easy to switch coach back then.
If you were to change one thing now about your track career, what would you have changed?
Nothing really, because to me, that is what made me who I am. So why try and change the journey?
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Guys, if you are just joining us, I am here having a friendly chat with Miss Rosie. And of course, I'm going to play a little game with Miss Rosie now. And the game is Miss Rosie will have to name as many of her teammates from the 1972 team. The 1972 team, her first Olympic Games, she's going to try and name as many of her teammates as she can. Are you ready, Miss Rosie?
Yes, I'm ready. I will go by the events and see
no problem.
How I can jog my memory.
Okay, go ahead, and I'll tell you if you're wrong or right. Go ahead.
The men's 100 had Dr. Lennox Miller, Don Quarry, Michael Frey, Horace Levy, and there was another Olympian who he didn't make it, but he made the team, but he didn't make it to the village. Errol Stewart.
Okay.
He had some appendicitis problems, so he wasn't able to compete in the Olympics, but he was part of that team.
Okay.
The women's 100, Lelieth, Hodges, Debbie Byfield, Carol Cummins, and myself. The 200, myself and I think Dr. Una Morris.
Correct.
And then the 400 was Ruth Williams Simpson, Marilyn Newville, Yvonne Saunders.
Correct again.
Yvonne White.
She didn't compete.
She didn't compete, but she was there, right? Was she injured or something?
I'm not sure, but I don't have her as...
Was she a part of the team?
I don't have her as an Olympian, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right.
Vilma Charlton was also there. That was her last Olympics.
Yes, you are right.
She was part of that 4x1. Did I say Debbie Byfield?
Yes, you did say Debbie Byfield, yeah. And she's gone again, guys. She's having a little... We know what the problem is, but she's doing well in naming her...
Carol Cummins.
Yeah, Carol Cummins.
Hello.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me, Miss Rosie?
HP?
Yes, I'm seeing you, but you are not here.
You're frozen on my end.
I am. I'm not frozen over here.
Hello.
All right, guys, I'm going to drop her so she can reconnect. I think she's having some technical difficulties there, but guys, if you're just joining us, we're wrapping up a chat here with Miss Rosie Allwood, another of Jamaica's track and field gem, Olympian, and you are back. Do you want to continue?
400 men, Alfred Daly, the Stayer, Richard Hardware, Leighton Priestley, Trevor Campbell.
Yes.
Let me see who else.
You're doing well.
Byron Dice. Did I say Don Quarry? I said Don Quarry. For
you said right? Don Quarry already. Yes. Byron Dice is correct.
Byron Dice ran the 800, I think, and the 15, I think, for both of those.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I can remember. I don't remember.
Okay, you did well. You
Thank
did
you.
well. Only three names you did not call: Godfrey Murray,
Yes, in the hurdles, 110
right?
hurdles.
Henry Jackson and Kim Rowe.
Yes,
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 but
that
you did
one.
well. You got all the
Thank you.
other, you got all the other names. You did well, and you're smart because you did it by events. You did it by
Yes,
events,
yeah, that's the way to try and remember them.
but you're very smart because this team is over 50 odd years old, and for you to
Yep,
remember, that's awesome. That's just
yes.
that's
Well, the
some.
long-term memory is much better than the short-term.
Oh yes, for all of us there. Don't worry about it. For all of us, Rainford Hunter is here, and he's saying I was a big fan of Rosie. That's Rainford
Okay,
Hunter, aka Scouty,
okay.
formerly of Stat St. Andrew Technical High School. He said he was a big fan of yours, Miss Rosie. So you did well. You did well right there, and I have a poem for you. I wrote a poem for you, very short, but here we go. From Titchfield's track, a shining flame, a girls' champs champion carved her name. With speed and grace, your dreams took flight. Rosie, a star so bright. The Gators Hall saw her sprinting legs soar, a scholar, an athlete, striving for more. On the Olympic stage, three times she ran 72, 76, 80, a true Jamaican gem. Your legacy lives in each stride you give, a symbol of courage, determined and brave. From schoolgirl glory to Olympic glory, you embrace. Rosie Allwood, your legacy, your story is one of grace. We salute you, my dear.
Well, thank you so much.
And you are welcome. You are welcome, welcome, welcome. And it was indeed a pleasure having you here, and just learning a little bit about you. People have been asking me for a while now. They're saying that I am interviewing Olympians and athletes from other schools. What about Titchfield? What about Rosie Allwood from Titchfield? So
Mhm.
now you are here, and the people from Titchfield and all over know who this lady is and know a little bit about her story. She did not tell us everything, but of course, we get to know her a little bit more now. So, Rosie, I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me one question, like what I do with all my guests. I give them an opportunity to ask me one question. And guys, before we go, I want to thank you very much for being here. I almost say have a great weekend, not remembering it's Tuesday, but I'll be back here Thursday night with Zara Northover. And guys, you will want to hear the story of Zara Northover. So we will be back here Thursday night to talk with Zara, another Jamaican Olympian, and of course, born overseas, but she claimed Jamaica as her home. Miss Rosie, it's your time to ask me a question.
So, HP, what made you decide to garner this niche that you have garnered in terms of looking back at legacies in track and field?
Um, that's a good question, and I get that question quite a lot. My love for the sport, my love and passion for the sport, and I have a special love for the people who have brought Jamaica glory in track and field, because track and field is my first sport. It is a sport I did in school. So I have always had a love and passion for it. And I am one of those people when I get the opportunity to tell my story, whenever I'm invited to do an interview, I'm going to tell this story that my dream as a little girl doing track and field was I wanted to compete at the Olympic Games. And
Wow.
it never did materialize, of course, because parents made the decisions for you at that time. But my dream was to become an Olympian. So I have been attached to the sport from I was a little girl. And two of the names I heard for the first time in track and field as a little girl was Merlene Ottey and Jackie Pusey.
Yeah.
So um, I've always wanted to do this. And when I wrote this program, I wrote it for television and I wanted to get it on TVJ. TVJ was the station I wanted to get it on, but of course, I wasn't able to. And my advisor, my academic advisor, said to me, "Why don't you tweak it and do it online?" And here we are. So it is really passion for the sport and my appreciation for what you guys have done for Jamaica.
Well, I think you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank
And
you.
we thank you for going back and looking for athletes who competed from way back when and bringing them to the public.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for, making the time to be here. I know you have a busy schedule. And of course, I was not going to pass up on this opportunity. So thank you very much, my dear.
Thank
And
you too.
again,
You're welcome.
thank you for what you have done for us, for the sport, for Jamaica, for your community back in Portland, for the Titchfield community. Now they can say we have seen our Olympian on HB Chat Track. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye. Guys, thank you very much for being here and of course having a chat with Miss Rosie, one of my favorite, and I will say this every time, she is one of my many, 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 many favorites. The athletes are my favorite people from Jamaica are the track and field athletes. And I say that with no apology. My favorite Jamaicans are the track and field athletes who have brought us glory. So guys, thank you very much. I will be back here Thursday night with Zara North over another Jamaican Olympian. Thank you very much, Karine Bell. As I said before, one of the best English teacher in the Western Hemisphere out of Titchfield High School, Karine Bell, and she's with us tonight. Thank you very much. Miss Vilma Charlton, three-time Olympian, is here, and she said, thank you very much, HP. Thank you, Miss Vilma, for your contribution to our sport. And it is always nice to reminisce. And, I enjoy doing this. This is what gives me life. This is what gives me energy. And I thank you guys for turning up here every week. Monica Lewis, thank you very much. Thank you. Regina Montague, another outstanding athlete from Titchfield High School, who is also a big part of the Titchfield track and field family. She's giving back to her alma mater. Miss Regina Montague, thank you very much for being here. All the other Olympians and athletes who turn out tonight. Debbie Byfield was also here, formerly of Excelsior High School. Lelieth Hodges was here, Olympian, formerly of St. Mary High School. Dorothy Scott Genius was also here, Olympian, formerly of Veer Technical, and of course they roll out for Miss Rosie Allwood tonight. Thank you all for being here. Albert Lawrence was also here, formerly of Veer Technical, an Olympian himself, Olympic silver medalist, 1984. Marlene Green, formerly of Dintil, was here. One track hero was also here. Trisha, thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who rolled out tonight, whether you're in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, wherever you watch from. Thank you. And all my new subscribers, I've seen you. I see the numbers growing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Remember to like, share, and spread the word. This is about Jamaica track and field legacy. And of course, I'm trying my best to keep the interviews on the 2 hours. I'm trying to go 1 hour and 30 minutes. And we did that tonight with Miss Rosie. So thank you guys very much for being here. Portland, A special good night to Portland and Boston Jerk. I don't know if they still have the Jerk, but yes, Portland is the parish to visit these days. So thank you guys very much. Thank you for being here, and join me again Thursday night when I will be here with Zara, who will share her story with us as an Olympian, an American who is a Jamaican also and represented Jamaica at the 2008 Olympic Games. Thank you guys very, very much. Have a good night. Have a good night. See you Thursday. Remember now, I will be back here on Thursday. See you guys Thursday. Okay, I'm going to go now. Have a good night. Bye. 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 Bye.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple: to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business.